This video is sponsored by Squarespace. This is what your laptop says about you. If you own a MacBook Air, then this is like the normal, attractive, competent personal laptop. You know, it's like, it's clean, it's mainstream, it's expensive. I really fucking want one, but it's expensive. If you have this, you're just like a regular, safe, successful civilian, you know? You're either number one, corporate employee, you pay your taxes on time, or number two, you're a university student without a job. Your parents paid for this laptop, which you are grateful for, you know? You've always had Apple, you know, all your life. Like, you have an iPhone, you don't know that much about tech, but you know, Apple, MacBook, it's pretty, it has social capital, therefore you have one. If you own a MacBook Pro, then you need people to know that you do creative work. Even though creative work here means you open Premiere Pro once every 3 weeks. But that's all part of your workflow, you know? You also use the word workflow too often. I feel like half the people with MacBook Pros are genuinely talented, and then the other half are editing TikToks titled "Things I Learned in My 20s. But either way, you both identify as an aspiring creative. Always aspiring. Why are they always aspiring? Everyone's bio is like, oh, Bianca is an aspiring filmmaker and video editor. Don't say you're aspiring. If you're doing it, then just say that you're a filmmaker and video editor. Because contrary to what you MacBook Pro person think, what you lack is not the fucking Hollywood level computing power with you in this coffee shop, but it's the fucking audacity. If you own an HP Pavilion laptop, this is the most normal person laptop ever created. As in, you didn't research this, you don't care about the brand. Frankly, the way you bought this is you walked into a store and you told the customer service person that you need a laptop, and then when the customer service person asked you like more specifically like, oh cool, so like what are you looking for? You short-circuited and you were like, laptop? And then the customer service person was like, no, yeah, for sure. I mean, do you have any like specifications, RAM, storage, processor, graphic card? And then you started hyperventilating like an animal with its legs stuck in a bear trap. If you own an ASUS ROG, then your laptop looks like it was designed by a 14-year-old boy after drinking 4 Monster Energies, which is also kind of how you dress and show up in your personal life. Also, I feel like more than once you've rehearsed like a witty one-liner in your head before trying to say it casually. Emphasis on casually here, like you weren't just practicing how to say it in your head, especially if someone attractive is nearby or like if there's a chance that other people will look at you afterward. If you own a Surface Pro, the Surface Pro to me gives me the vibe of like corporate, but with a twist, you know? Like those whole companies whose whole thing is like, we're not like other companies. We care about our people and culture. We have beanbags and a ping pong table, you know? That's the Surface Pro. You bought this because you wanted the functionality of a laptop, but with the flexibility of a tablet. But what you actually got was the worst aspects of both. I feel like you're the type of person that like rehearses social interactions that should otherwise be organic. And that kind of manifests in ways like you try to time your reply to text messages so you don't seem like too available, but also not too late that you seem super uninterested, right? Or like you'll mentally prepare a reaction in case someone brings up a topic that might come up, so you have something that you know you're able to say, you know, like interview maxing essentially. If you own an iPad with like a keyboard attachment so that it like pretends to be a laptop, then you definitely have a full PC setup at home, but this is what you take to lectures. But also, it doesn't fucking work, but you are deeply committed to making this fucking work anyway, even though it sucks. Like watching you multitask on this thing is like watching someone cook using only a spoon, you know? Like you spend half the time on this like switching apps, you know, resizing windows, and then like you're just like you're like telling people or like telling yourself that like this is still like this is more intuitive, you know, and it's like it's portable and it's more effective because it's lighter. Yeah, it's lighter because it's not an actual fucking laptop. If you own a ThinkPad, then you are a man in STEM, 100%. A guy in STEM, possibly a Linux user, possibly a programmer, but definitely man in STEM. Like it is very important to you that your laptop can survive like a military grade durability test. This is very important to you for some reason. Even if the craziest place that your laptop is ever gonna be like in your backpack next to your keys, jangling around in your water bottle, maybe without a case, without a laptop case. Oh, no laptop case. That's a little scary actually, because all your other stuff could jostle it, you know? You need a durable laptop for that. And you know, this laptop is also repairable, you know? So efficient, so practical, all the buzzwords, you know, that you like to throw around about your laptop. Also, side note, I feel like you would enjoy having the Wikipedia app on your phone. Or if you don't, try it, download it. I feel like you'd enjoy it. On the Wikipedia app, you can download Wikipedia articles to read offline. This is not sponsored, which I think you would enjoy that feature. Try it. If you own a Dell Inspiron, then this is the laptop that belongs to dads, office workers, and university students who don't care about laptops and they just ask for a normal laptop. Nothing about the Dell Inspiron inspires any type of passion, and I would know because I hate to fucking say it, this is the laptop that I have, and I fucking hate its lazy ass. Like, this will crash anytime I have to do anything more than like open 2 text documents, and then like when I reopen the laptop, the fucking blue encryption thing will come out and I'll be locked out. Okay, it's a rage laptop. I need a new laptop. Anyway, this laptop is for normies who can't afford Apple but also don't really want to like investigate further into what laptop to get. So actually maybe it is my fault. Also, I know everyone in the comments is gonna disagree right now, but I'm being honest, there is no greater desire in my heart than to be one of those people that fucking knows nothing about laptops and you just like buy Apple for everything because it looks nice. I'm making a confession right now, true confession, okay? This is me at my core, okay? Except I am a penny pincher and also I take terrible care of my shit, so I'm actually not personally nor fiscally responsible enough for a MacBook, but I am actively aspiring toward complete ignorance toward technology and just having all of the Apple products like integrated and shit, you know? My brain is too smooth to figure out how to customize a Windows or a Linux, okay? I just want like smooth brain, smooth product laptop, okay? If you own a Dell XPS, then you wanted a MacBook, but you either couldn't psychologically or financially commit to having a MacBook. So instead, you watched 17 YouTube laptop comparison videos and you landed on this one. You like to say that this one's more practical, but you are still resentful that MacBooks look cooler in cafes. But this one is more customizable, you know? Not that you've ever customized it. You just Google Dell driver issue like twice a week. Attention, creative laptop people, or like anyone that uses their laptop to do creative work on, pay attention to this next part. If you're someone that's like working on a portfolio or you're building something of your own, a lot of you still don't have your own website, and that's a problem because it means that no one is going to be able to see any of your work unless you have somewhere to put it that's only yours, which means you need to get on Squarespace and legitimize what you're doing. So Squarespace is good for both people that know how to code and also for people that don't know how to code and just like to make things look pretty. Because for people that know how to code, you can make a site and just edit the CSS yourself using CSS editor, and if you don't know how to code, then Squarespace already has a ton of built-in templates that for literally any subject and aesthetic under the sun. So you can just browse and pick and choose and just have the site up and running. So there's no excuse for anyone. If you have your own work, you need a portfolio, you should have a website on Squarespace. And I assume a lot of you are already posting things on sites like Instagram, and the good thing is you don't have to re-upload all of your images onto your website because Squarespace lets you connect your Instagram account so all of the images are already displayed, and then you can also edit it so like when you click on an image it either redirects to your Instagram, or you can use the lightbox feature which makes the picture pop up in full view, which is good for if you do photography or visual art. You can see the example from my website and my Instagram. My Instagram is just pictures of me because I'm a YouTuber, therefore I'm a narcissist, but you get the idea. Head to squarespace.com/crystal for a free 14-day trial and use code crystal to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. If you own an HP Spectre, then I feel like you wear business casual voluntarily. Like, not to go to work too, but like on the weekends, I feel like when you're hanging out with people, you're just in your fucking boat shoes with socks that are like too short, or like a blazer with sneakers, Allbirds shoes. You probably own Allbirds. Basically, you always look like you're about to pitch to fucking seed funding. And also, I feel like more than once you've tried to look busy on your phone when you didn't know what to do with yourself in public. I also feel like you're the type of person that doesn't know how to like change direction on the street, as in like when you're following directions on Google Maps or some shit and then you realize you're going the wrong way, you find it really hard to just like stop on the street and like do like a 180 and like walk the other way. You feel like you look ridiculous, so what you do instead is you like pretend to check your phone and then like you scratch your head, you pick your nose, and then you like fucking cross the street, and then you very slowly, very nonchalantly turn and you go the other way to make it not look like you were going the wrong way. If you own a Chromebook, then either you are, number 1, 14 years old, number 2, your school gave you this, or number 3, you are operating under financial conditions that I do not wish to mock publicly on this website. And that's because the Chromebook exists in this like strange realm where technically it is a laptop, but opening more than 4 tabs on it turns it into a hostage situation. If you own an ASUS Zenbook, then you also wanted a MacBook, but you also couldn't commit to it. You also just like to like raw dog your laptop with no sleeve in your backpack, which respect, you're just like me, except my laptop was cheaper than yours. So I don't know if it's responsible for you to also be doing this, because in there, your laptop is also like fighting for its fucking life against keys, charger, your water bottle, loose coins, but it's your life, you know, c'est la vie. If you own a Microsoft Surface laptop, then you have like a fake productive task that you default to when you're avoiding real work. So for example, it's reorganizing your journal or like making a new Spotify study playlist instead of studying. You're addicted to the idea of getting your life together, but you're not actually like as into actually putting the work in to do so. Another way this manifests is like, I feel like you try to like consciously curate your personality, as in when you meet someone for the first time, you have like a default personality that you put on just for people that you've met, you know, like to control the optics. And at networking events, I feel like you're the type of person that'll like try and like laugh slightly louder than necessary just to signal to other people that you have a good time. If you own an MSI laptop, then you're one of those people that like constantly is checking like how fast your internet is, or like those GPU websites like all the time. Like, you know how like some people, their default action is like they'll pull up their phone and they'll just start like scrolling reels, even if they don't mean to. Like, it's just an instinct. Like, what you instinctually do is you go on fast.com or like some other website that like tells you your RAM usage in real time. If you own an Acer Aspire, then you are operating under economic realism. Like, you bought this because it was on sale and you had a student discount, and that's good enough. You know, it's not your dream laptop, but you'll make do, and honestly, I respect that. If you own a Victus, a Nitro, or tough gaming laptop, you know how everyone knows how people will like delay eating dinner because they're like finding the perfect video to like eat their dinner to? You do a slightly different variant of that, which is you delay going to sleep because you're like waiting and like looking for the right video to like fall asleep to or like end the night on. But what that means in practice is it's 3:17 a.m. in the morning and you're watching a video called Abandoned Mall Exploration in Eastern Europe, and your alarm is gonna go off in like less than 4 hours, so you try and go to bed, but then you still fucking wake up like 20 minutes before your alarm goes off, and so you're like, worst of both worlds. And then at that point, you just kind of like lie there because technically you still have time, but also you're not getting any rest, and you feel like your body cheated you in the morning after what you put it through at night. If you own a Razer Blade laptop, then I feel like you once bought some kind of semi-ironic, memeable item online that's like funny in internet circles, but once the package arrived and you wore it out in public for the first time, it occurred to you for the very first time that maybe regular people wouldn't actually know what the thing means, and so it kind of looks like you're just wearing this kind of like bizarre, incomprehensible t-shirt out in public with complete sincerity, and a part of you thinks this is kind of cool, like, oh, ha ha ha, I'm in the know, you know, like all these other people, they don't know what's going on, you know, like they're not in the know. But at the same time, a part of you kind of desires like the regular type of normie social acceptance in a group that you see other people having that you feel like you can't really have as someone who knows what the Germa Elden Ring meat grinder incident is. Like, you don't really think that the people out there with their diverse friend groups sitting in parks with their Aperol spritz would know what the Germa Elden Ring meat grinder incident is. If you own an ROG Zephyrus, then a part of you wants a gaming laptop, but the other part of you wants to be the type of guy that wears like salvaged Japanese denim and gets invited to rooftop bars. And you feel like the way to get to this aspirational dream version of yourself is through the slow acquisition of perfect products. Like, you're one specific jacket or one expensive pen and like one pair of headphones away from being like the fucking best, competent, coolest version of yourself, you know? And like, this laptop is part of that. But half the time, you just use this thing to play Valorant at 3 in the morning. If you're someone that like built your own PC, but you use a tiny cheap laptop, then this is like the classic male university archetype. I've met so many people like this. You like to tell people that your real computer is at home, you know, and that like, this thing is just like what you use when you're in class, you know, which you don't actually use properly in class, you know, this is just what you use to check Discord notifications. If you leave the house with like multiple monitors attached to your laptop, then I can't believe you leave the house like this. You are the polar opposite of the dude with iPad with a keyboard. Like, you, on the other hand, look like a fucking air traffic controller. I've seen people with this setup in like cafes. Not regularly, but I have seen it. But why? What the are you doing that's like so complicated that it needs so many screens, you know? And like, and if you do need to be like this locked in and you need this many screens, why come out to the cafe, you know, to do it, to socialize, clearly, you know, to be around people, you know, because you're such a social butterfly, obviously. If you own like a work issued Dell or Lenovo laptop, then you use this for fucking work. You're employed and you have a job. And also, you are upset that your company didn't give you all MacBooks. Or at the very least, a laptop that was fucking lighter than this one. Because Jesus Christ, I remember when I had one of these and it was fucking huge. And I would only ever use like Microsoft Word on that thing, but like that heavy would still die in like 2 hours if you didn't plug it in. So what the Also, you're not sure that they installed like corporate spyware on this thing, but also they for sure installed corporate spyware on this thing. Like opening Spotify on this laptop feels illegal. Like you get an actual thrill from like opening a not work related tab while using this. If you want a framework laptop, then you have this habit where you like to just like randomly, without prompting, explain niche practical information to people. So for example, like at the dinner table, like just without prompting, just out of context, suddenly you'll just be like, did you guys know that printers are designed to waste ink? And then everyone just has to sit there while you begin your fucking TED talk against big printer. You are also disproportionately likely to refuse to throw something away because you think that you could probably fix that, you know? Even though realistically, that object will remain disassembled on your floor for the next 14 months. If you own an old Intel MacBook, then you are either a final year humanities student or like a creative freelancer. But what creative freelancer here means is you used to have a dream of becoming a great writer, but you always tell people that you just never ended up working on this great novel or play or script that you said you would write, and now the dream seems to be running away from you, and now you technically work in something that's creative or something in writing, like copywriting for pharmaceuticals, but it's not really the same thing. Also, you really miss being in college and you won't stop talking about how much you miss being in college and how it was the best time of your life. If you own a Lenovo Yoga, then you got seduced by the fact that the screen folds backwards and absolutely nothing else. And you like to fold this screen backwards dramatically in public so that other people can see that your laptop has a screen that folds backwards. This is cool for like the first 4 days that you get this laptop. And then afterward, you never use the tablet mode thing again because you immediately realize this is kind of annoying. If you own Alienware, then you have absolutely no shame because I feel like if your laptop brand is called Alienware, I mean, like, what else is there to say, you know? Like, you like the fact that your laptop actively resembles military equipment, like, you think it's cool, you know? And also, why does it always sound like it's rendering Avengers Endgame? Like, the fans will activate and nearby animals will start evacuating the area. And that concludes all of the laptops. I'm gonna end this video with a quote from this Tumblr post that I like a lot. I'm gonna read it out to you. Laptops are always so much more than phones in my experience. A laptop is like a beautiful horse that wants nothing more than to break all of its legs. A decently solid Android phone will act normal. A laptop is a living creature. It has weight to it. A laptop breathes and produces body heat, and it wants to die badly. Mobile phones are not sentient like that, and that's why they don't experience mental illness. A phone problem is like out of storage or charging port broke. Laptops will cough weakly as they fade in and out of consciousness. You will hold a laptop in your arms and it's like, I can't feel my legs. And you tell it, girl, you never had any. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this, then you should check out this playlist of other videos that I made and you should subscribe, please. So click something. Thank you.